In the meantime, you've got President Trump striking a positive tone on the chances of a deal with Iran. That country's supreme leader, though, keeping tensions on the boil. This tough talk from this weekend.
We are not the initiators and do not want to attack any country, but the Iranian nation will strike a strong blow against anyone who attacks and harasses them. Also, Americans should know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war.
So now, from the White House, the president shrugging those remarks off. He also pointed out the buildup of U.S. forces in the Middle East. He said this in Florida at Mar-a-Lago.
Supreme Leader today said that U.S. attack could spark a regional war. Giving you a response to that?
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you're going to say that. But we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
All right, a lot to cover on this. Dan Hoffman's the man to do it, former CIA station chief, Fox News contributor. Dan, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. Here are the naval assets now that the U.S. has deployed, and there's a lot of firepower. For the president right now, take it from his perspective, what is he trying to gauge?
Yeah, I think what the president is trying to do is use every bit of U.S. leverage to get to a nuclear deal with Iran. Remember, the president said that help was on the way to the protesters. He said that Iran needed new leadership last month. I think those were points of leverage. That, along with the military buildup in the region, is designed to give us the leverage we need to drive Iran to the bargaining table. Remember, Iran is weaker now than they've ever been. They are suffering a serious water shortage. Their economy is in free fall. Israel destroyed their air defenses back in the June war, the 10-day war last year. We've taken the fight to their proxy terrorists. They're weaker now than they've ever been before. The challenge for the United States is that Iran retains short-range missiles, long-range missiles, torpedo boats that they could use in the Strait of Hormuz. So we've got to rely on our intelligence community to plan out how Iran might respond to any one of U.S. attacks, if indeed we need to launch them.
Okay, so we just played a clip from the supreme leader, but the Iranian president, according to a report earlier today, about 7 hours ago, said that he's ordering nuclear negotiations with the United States. Do you believe that? And if so, what form would that take?
Yeah, I think that's front and center for Director Ratcliffe and the intelligence community to advise the president. With Iran, it's always mistrust and verify. And so, yes, Iran may want to enter into negotiations. The question is whether they do that in good faith. Just a few days ago, they signed a strategic cooperation agreement with Russia and China, designed to help them together bust our sanctions and build out their defense cooperation. So we have to be worried about any potential negotiations with Iran where Russia and China could be spoilers.
Okay, follow up on that after we hear from Lindsey Graham. He's talking tough. Here we go.
I have every confidence that President Trump will do what he promised to the people. Help is on the way. Keep protesting. If this regime falls, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they all go. There's no deal to be done here. These people are not trustworthy. President Trump, you said help is on the way. That has to be real. It has to be real soon.
Sounds like a red line, something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks. You mentioned the thousands of Iranian ballistic missiles that could cause havoc all over the Middle East. Our partners in the Arab world have told Iran that they've got nothing to do with this if there's military action that takes place. So you've got a lot of different cross currents. If the president and his administration were to agree to nuclear talks, would that not just be a stall tactic on behalf of Iran, as they have done in the past repeatedly?
Yeah, it absolutely could be, and I think there'll be a timetable for Iran to demonstrate that they're negotiating good faith. And if they don't, then we have the capacity, the capability, the will to launch strikes on Iran. Make no mistake, there will be collateral damage in the region. Iran, I think, is facing a lower threshold than ever before because of the risk to regime change that we talked about, to launch counterstrikes against the United States and our allies. Remember, Secretary Rubio testified last week the United States has roughly 30 to 40,000 troops stationed in the region whom Iran might seek to target. So we have to be cognizant of that as well.
Dan, thank you. Great gets your expertise. We'll watch it by the hour as of now. Going forward, Dan Hoffman, thank you, sir, for coming on today.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.